Are we on?
Yeah.
Cool. So do you want to come in and have a look in here, Mrs. Amatullah?
Yeah.
So here is our experiment for this week. You have a copy of this PDF if you want to open that and have a look while I'm going through this. So you can see we've got some different ingredients: detergent, baking powder, salt, flour, coffee, sugar. And we bought two things that you probably wouldn't have at home: copper sulfate and copper carbonate. Obviously, if we were here at school, we'd be doing this in this kind of setup, but we're trying to make it so that you guys can have a go at this experiment at home if you would like to as well. So things you might use at home are various different cups and bowls and Tupperware you might have sitting in your Tupperware cupboard. Probably don't use your dad's favourite mug. We've decided to go with shot glasses just because they're nice and easy and small and clear, okay? So if you have a look down here, our experiment says we need our safety glasses and laboratory coat, okay? Heat-proof mat, the test tubes and our samples. Now looking at the method and results, we need to half fill each of the test tubes with cold water. So obviously we're going to be doing that with our shot glasses. And this is regular tap water from C Block. There is no magic going on here. All right, and once we've got those, just with a small amount of water, it doesn't have to be a lot. If you are looking for a really good reaction and you use warm water, you probably will get better results, but let's not get confused by adding in lots of different variables. Did you see that one? Look, that one's already drunk. Okay, so here at school we're using these little spatula things that we use in our test tubes. At home, just a teaspoon or anything like that is fine. So the next step is to label our test tubes. Now I've just written on the table here. Obviously if you've got a texter, you can write them on your plastic cups or something as you go, or just put a piece of paper underneath and write down what they are. You need to add a very small amount of each substance to its test tube. Do not use more than a quarter of a spatula full. So we're not looking at using a lot, okay, just a small amount. So we'll start with our detergent. Okay, a tiny little bit in there. And most of you would be able to know or understand what's going to happen here without me explaining or looking at that. If you want to come have a close up. So all that detergent, you can't see any green in there, it's just disappeared. Obviously detergent is really good at blending into water. So if we look at our substance mixed with water and detergent as our first one, is it clear or cloudy? You just had a look, that was nice and clear. Soluble or insoluble? Remember from our theory earlier in the week, okay, soluble means that it mixes with water and insoluble means that it doesn't, and you would see it kind of sitting at the bottom of that in a little blob. So let's have a look at the next one. Baking powder. All right, so pop that in and you can see straight away, I didn't even have to stir, that started to mix in. If I hold that up for you.
There we go, lovely and clear.
Beautiful. So let's have a look at the next one, which is salt. Okay, pop that into my water. Give it a little bit of a whiz around. Come and have a close-up look. So you can see that's discoloured the water. It's made it a little bit cloudy. We could probably put some more in to get a better effect. And unless this was kind of hot water, you probably will get a little bit sitting on the bottom there, but you can all tell that that is definitely mixing in. The next one I've got on my list here is the flour. Take a little chunk of flour.
Now, Mrs. Sustrom's really good at this, trying to take similar amounts of all the solutes as possible so that we can make it comparable. So that's really great.
Okay, you can see again that one's become nice and cloudy, and I've got a bit of a chunk on my spatula there. I might get a new spatula to use for the next one. And that's even a little bit more cloudy than the flower.
Yep.
The next one on my list is coffee. It stinks. Pop that in and you can see, oh, falling down. Straight away that starts to colour up, okay? And if I give that a little bit of a whiz around, straight away you start to see that there's definitely a cloudy colour to that, but it is mixing in, that is definitely soluble. But looking at the next one here is sugar. Sugar and salt look pretty similar. I did actually have to do the flavour test and sadly I got sold. So again, you can see it's gone. There is a little bit of cloudiness. We'll see when that settles. Again, if this was hot water, that would dissolve really, really fast. Here in Tasmania, water's not that warm, is it, Mrs. Amatola?
Most definitely not. I think I froze my hand earlier in the morning when to wash them.
But that is still looking pretty clear, isn't it? Now, if you do a comparison side by side, you can't really tell the difference between those two. So this is one that you might not have at home, and this is copper sulfate. And we've got different types of copper sulfate here at school. They don't look exactly the same, but they have the same properties. One's just got a little bit more colour going on here. We'll use that because it should be more exciting.
Ooh, my favourite.
So giving that a bit of a mix through. You can see the water is a different colour there. It's gone that kind of blue. Okay, let's try the copper carbonate and see if there is a difference. Okay, so if you have a look at those two, while this does look to be a different kind of colour, if you look at the plain water comparatively, all right, it's taken in a little bit of that colour.